It's like, where am I going in that picture? It's like with the thumbnail. I don't know. I feel like I'm a horse and I'm brushing my mane. Okay. Shall we look and see what today's energy's like? I just got a message and it was like, it said it's a nice colour, TBF. I have to try and work these things out when like the kids abbreviate things. So I took that as to be frank, but I think it might be to be fair. That's a nice colour, to be fair. And but to be frank, that's what came through. Okay, we're going to be honest. It's a nice cup of coffee. I like a nice cup of coffee. I appreciate a nice cup of coffee. The one I had earlier wasn't to my satisfaction. So I paid extra special attention. A little bit more milk. And that's nice. The Druid Craft Hour. I felt really drawn to use the angels and ancestors to see what message they have for us. Should we go to them first? Let's go to them first. It wouldn't allow me to go live, and when I realised I was going live and setting it up, I noticed it was 10 o'clock. So it was a bit like, okay, right, let's... And then it wouldn't allow me to push the button to go live, so it was 10:01. And I felt like calling the reading 10:01. Or 1001. Yeah, we can say that. 1001. Let's see what card wants to come out. I got lost in my own little thoughts then. Okay. The High Priestess, harness mystic power. Okay, should I tell you what I was thinking about? I was flicking through the New Testament today, not long ago. Not long ago. And I opened up to a part where it said about capturing the dragon, Satan, and locking it away, but it was locked away for 1,000 years. And then it had to be released for a short time. And then I closed the book. I thought, that's interesting. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon come through the other day. So I was taken to like this dragon energy, and I'm thinking, well, we're like in 2023. So if this like dragon is like put away, I was going to say put to sleep, but was like locked up for 1,000 years. So we've had like 2 of those that have occurred. Is the dragon like still awake? Is it due to be like locked up again for another 1,000 years? Because we're only in 2023. I mean, out of 1,000 years, what's the short time for this dragon to be active? Seriously, what's going through my mind? Is this dragon like... Because what came to mind was like 2025. It's like it can have 25 years out of 1,000. But I don't actually know, and I couldn't find my place. I didn't even look again to see what the rest of the... Because I did think to myself, do you think they just like told me how long like it's allowed loose for? Anyway, High Priestess opened up to the High Priest. Align with the light and focus on all things positive. The High Priestess is the physical embodiment of the Divine Feminine, the goddess in human form. Have you been practicing? I have. Last night I went to bed and I made sure that I was allowing all these beautiful dreams, visions, thoughts to go through my mind. And I did think earlier on that I didn't consciously pick them up this morning, which is what I should, I need to practice more on, is picking up that thought straight away in the morning. I'm not sure what I thought about when I opened my eyes this morning. I'm quite an early riser at the moment. So the High Priestess is the physical embodiment of the Divine Feminine, the goddess in human form. She has had many names through time and space, but her essence has remained similar: fierce, powerful, and disciplined. In many traditions, particularly pre-Christian, the High Priestess was in charge of spiritual and religious orders and was the voice of authority and guidance from the gods. I really do feel that that's like the role of the Divine Feminine at the moment. She's very much in a High Priestess position, status. The High Priestess in this deck is the consort and partner of the High Priest. And if you look at them together, you will see they mirror each other's energy. She is joined by a black cat representing the Egyptian goddess Bast, who protects her from lower energies, and she stands strong in her glory and power. Okay, the extended message. You are a mystic with the capacity to connect with energies that go beyond the human senses. Within you is a force of magic that is directed by your will. There is an opportunity for you to rise up at this time, but it requires dedication and discipline. You are being guided to look at what you are working on or at the situation before you and determine where your priorities lie. If you are unable to figure that out, you must use your intuition and discernment to focus on what will bring you closer to your goal and the happiness of everyone involved. I feel like the energy of dragon slaying coming through. Okay, I'm going to be like the dragon slayer. When this card arrives, it's also important for you to check in with your intuition, as it will give you guidance that will be important for your growth. Okay. Also, what else I picked up, I believe I was reading John, and in the Bible this is, and it was speaking about how actually how he died, how he what did they say? It's like his spirit left the vessel on the cross, and the other disciples, they weren't disciples, sorry, the other men that were crucified at the same time as Jesus, but they broke their legs to get them down. But with Jesus, they didn't do that. It's like they wasn't allowed to break his bones, so they like slit his side, and he poured with blood. And so when he reappeared, he didn't come back like in the vessel of Jesus, so he wasn't recognisable like that. He was recognisable by the crucifixion marks, and also this mark in the side, and that's what made them really truly believe. But he said that those who believe before seeing are greatly rewarded. But it was like some of the disciples needed to see it, one that wasn't with the others when they had the first encounter with obviously a vessel that didn't look like Jesus, but it was Jesus that was in that vessel. I felt the energy of like that dragon energy, the darkness, Satan coming through, maybe other vessels, and you recognising it like that, maybe by a mark. I don't know. Okay. So when this card arrives, it's also important for you to check in with your intuition, as it will give you guidance that will be important for your growth. Okay, right, let's actually have a look and see what this reading is all about. It's all important, so let's talk about frogs and my daughter's fascination with frogs. So she likes buying her soft toys. We have got two new additions. We have this one, which I found was really interesting because yesterday, I believe it was yesterday or maybe the day before, I used a blue cup. and it's like her dad's cup, but I felt drawn to use it. It said like world's best daddy on it, but on the other side was a whale. So she comes home with this, and I said, that's interesting because I've used that cup today. And I am Blue Waverley Whale. And then she did bring home the cutest frog. I like him. He's like the maturest. He's the best frog in town. Come here, mister. Look at him. So I said to her, let me tell you what his name is. I am Riverside Rambler Frog. Please look after me. He's cute. So the energy of like having a fishing rod, and Cynthia picked up on fishing. We're fishing for information. Okay. Where was I going with this? Oh, okay. The black cat. That's what I'm taken to. So I speak to my daughter about how I'm not very like creative or artistic with like creating characters, but I'd love to like create a story, like especially involving like frogs and their different personalities, and then it took me to Rupert Bear, and I said to her, you need to like watch Rupert Bear and like his friends. So he had the badger and he's got the elephant, and I said, so she goes on and she's Googling, and I said to her, Google like Rupert Bear and the frogs and the frog scene. So you can all check out the frog song, but because it's the whole scene, you get to see the other characters before, and she starts playing it. So I start to notice the different characters, because there's not only frogs, there seems to be 2 black cats and like an owl that looks evil, a white owl that has like really evil eyes, and that you don't really find out what they're doing or why they're there, but they're kind of trying to get into the scene where the frogs are doing their "We All Stand Together" dance. So as the different frogs were coming up on the screen, we were pointing out all the different frogs. Like we'd say, well, he was definitely in it. And who else? Oh my goodness, she's kind of, I mean, we have a lot of frogs. They were in it. Hello, I'm sure, I would have said these were the little baby ones that were with the mummies. These were in it. But then, also was the black cat. So when they came on screen, she kind of got her black cat. What's your name? I am Medium Bashful Black Kitten. This cat was called Bast. Okay. Right then, we finished playing with the toys. And then there were some frogs that had love hearts, so this one came out. And she said to me, she said, out of all of us, like, she's meaning her sister and myself, she's like, I think I'm the most, like, have the most childlike creative mind, and most definitely she does. Okay. Oh, and you came out as well, didn't you? Because there's a scene where like the colours were blue, and she's like, that's that one. It is. It is. Oh, listen, right. Frogs. And a whale. Look, can I just put you down there? I'll put you all back in position soon, especially before Emily gets home. We've got like a little dinosaur. He's a new addition as well. I am Mini Fossily Brontosaurus. And she did buy me a present the other day. She bought her sister one. She bought her sister like this duck egg, should we say, little chick. And she got me a matching one of these. His name's Nippet. But mine's like, he sleeps on my bed. He's cute. He came out shopping with us the other day. I had him in my pocket, sticking out. And there's a little story behind that. And then we went into like a supermarket, and we've got the trolley, and they've got like, you can go around and zap your own shopping now. So they've got like the holder for the device if you choose to use that. So he popped Nippet in there so that he could have a little, his first shopping experience. I can't remember, what's your name? I can't remember what your name is. I want to say it's something like Roderick. What's your name? Anyway, I feel like my one looks and feels a bit different to this one. So we're taking him around the supermarket and he's sitting in this little holder. And around the supermarket, like, there's little buttons that you can press. This is the sound of a happy cow, and these are the sound of happy chickens. And I went to press one and like say to him, listen, and he was gone. And it was my response. My actual response was, because my daughter found it hilarious, I was like, oh, where's my guy gone? Where's my guy? Where's my guy? She's like, where's your guy? I'm like, yes, where's my guy gone? And he came out for coffee with us. He had coffee. And we've got pictures of these. It's not you, it was your, like, twin. Do you see what I mean, though? The energy, like, coming through. Like, so, okay, yeah, I know it's a soft toy. But Nippet had like coffee with me and Emily and toasted sandwiches and cake or iced tea if you wanted that. That's what Emily had. And then we went shopping together and it was like, you're in my pocket, I'm keeping you safe. Then but there is this energy of like it's transmuting through objects, people. Let's go to the Druidcraft Tarot. Good morning, Sherry. Good morning, getting ready for work. I had a feeling that I might catch you. I got a feeling. Okay. Because I did think about how early it would be and who would be getting up for work and then who maybe has like the shortest time distance. Oh. I do a lot of thinking, don't I? I do a lot of thinking. Pondering. 3 of Swords. Okay. What came through was, how do we take this heartbreak? How do we take this heartbreak? What do we learn from it? Because it's a tree of wisdom. How do we take the swords out of the heart? And it's like, and live again. Well, it's learn the lesson. What wisdom can you take from this? And there's 3 points, apparently. Three. Did you hear the bird? Give me 3 squawks. 3 of Swords. Okay, the first thing that's coming through, are you listening to yourself and to the story that you're telling? Because I was taken to like an earring here, and then the energy kind of being, I was going to say drawn in, but maybe like admitted from you. It's like, what story are you actually telling yourself about this heartbreak? So I feel there's 2 more things to point out. That was one of them. Change the way you're telling the story. I listened to an Abraham Hicks audio yesterday, and it said at any point we can change the story of the past, because we can change how we actually view it or look at it, or you understand the experience from it. So it's about changing the way that you tell the story of the past, and the past will no longer haunt you. It's like lay it to rest. Two cards here. Okay. The only person. Second point. Tell the way. Be honest with how you're telling the story. Like, with yourself? Are you telling yourself a very doom and gloom tale, or are you wise enough now to see the lesson? Second point is the only person that you're hurting is yourself. There's no one there that you're fighting with, but you're on guard. You're wounded. You look mad. Sad, but mad. So you're mad with yourself for being so sad. It's like there's been an earthquake. Well, yeah, it's like an earthquake where, like, volcanoes erupted. The lava is starting to seep through the cracks. You're cutting yourself off from source here. The Nine of Wands. I spoke about the Nine of Wands yesterday, where normally he's on this clean path. He's got a bandage around his head, but you have divine support. And the third point, yeah, you need to get a checkup from the neck up. Stinking thinking. There's a book by Zig Ziglar. See You at the Top. It talks about stinking thinking. And he also talks about you getting a checkup from the neck up. Okay. And I say that we're talking to the Divine Masculine, seeing as, like, that's her partner. This is all sent with love, by the way. But it feels like it's time to point some things out. I feel like we're at the doctor's surgery and that you've come for, like, your, I don't know, 2,000-year checkup. No, not that long. It's like it's an examination. Okay. It doesn't, no, it's a review. Shall we go and see what the angels want to say? What prayers they are, like, putting out there for you. I was also taken to, like, the prayer part. I've read a couple of prayers from the New Testament. I can't think about what the theme of the prayer was. It's like you can deal with one thing at a time, each of these pointers, but they all point to the same thing. It's about your attitude. Because he's got one sword here. There's like a shadow that came over them, which looks exactly like those swords. But then I'm taken to, like, the points behind his head here. It's like we'll be able to whip you into shape quickly. Express your creativity. Thank you, angels, for helping me to express my inner creator. I was taken to the blue colours being like the same here. I feel a bit sick all of a sudden, if I'm being honest. Oh, it came up, didn't it, when I started, to be frank, to be honest with you. This is what needs to happen. Express your creativity. You are a creative being, and the angels are encouraging you to tap into your gifts so that you can share your talents with the world. These can go beyond an art form or even music, as you are constantly creating your life. You are being handed a blank canvas by the angels and encouraged to paint what happens next. Okay. Expanded interpretation. Creative energy is flowing through you right now. Take some time to express this divine gift that you have. You are an artist with the phenomenal ability to create your life in the light of your creator. In order to take the next step, you are being encouraged to paint it, or write, or sing about it. Bring it into creation in a loving, expressive way. Time to write yourself a very loving, to create a very loving image, story. We can look at the bottom of the decks now. Okay. Shaolin Master, be graceful in movement and action. This doesn't look very graceful, does it? So let's look at this. Shaolin Master. It's like there's a dragon in the background there. That's the wrong book. Slow and steady, breathe and flow, and take a gentler approach. The Shaolin Master calls forth the ninja within. Shaolin medicine is about learning to adapt to a situation and to tap into the energy running through your body and preserve it in order to release it at the right moment. It also teaches subtlety, because when you are too forceful, you use too much energy, and that may not be supportive of what you are working on. The Shaolin Master, like a monk, has respect for all things. He is disciplined and guided by his art and will never use it to impress the foolish or to appear stronger than someone who is threatening him. You too are being invited to remain graceful in your movement, choices and actions. When it said like you too, as in T-O-O, you too are being asked. I felt like both of you, divine feminine, divine masculine, high priestess, high priest, are being asked. You too are being invited to remain graceful in your movement, choices and actions. The extended message: you are being guided to flow like water, blow like air, and connect with your purest intentions. Don't feel you need to rush ahead. A gentler approach will be more fruitful and rewarding. Move with subtlety and grace. Reach high, but also ask yourself how you can move with the flow of life rather than pushing against it. Do you have the capacity to refocus your gaze at this time? Can you slow down or take more time to soften and breathe as you move forward? All of this will be incredibly beneficial for what happens next. Dun, dun, dun. Bottom of the decks. Loved one in heaven. Thank you, loved ones in heaven, for drawing close at this time. I also feel like the drawing close at this time is like they're helping you with your creation. They're knowing what you're really desiring. Loved ones in heaven. The angels are bringing through a loved one who is in heaven at this time. They want you to know that their energy and support are always with you. Your loved one in heaven is drawing extremely close to you and wants to help heal any remaining pain or feeling of separation that is within your heart. Okay, so we're talking about the pain and the separation, which is within your heart, but you have your loved ones with you. Take time to acknowledge and remember them, for this will allow you to feel their love. The energy of a loved one wants to help you move forwards in a loving and safe way. If there is someone on the other side whom you miss or have unfinished business with, this is your opportunity to make peace with them. Please know they are offering their love to help remove anything that's holding you back and are asking you not to feel guilty about anything at all. So I spoke about like healing the past with telling yourself a different story. Well, your loved ones are coming through telling you that like you can let this go and this heartache. Please know they are offering their love to help remove anything that's holding you back and are asking you not to feel guilty about anything at all. They have found eternal peace in heaven with the family who have gone on before them. Okay, so it feels like some unfinished business here with the past that maybe you thought couldn't be like resolved, or I feel the opportunity to be forgiven. But there's no need for you to feel guilty anymore. So you can let that go. Should we get on with creating like your magnificent life now? That's what they're saying. King of Pentacles. He's like the master. He's like the mastermind, I want to say. Look, very balanced in masculine, feminine energy. This little Robin. Who said that yesterday? Was it Gal Gal? When the red robin comes bobbing along. There be no more sobbing. Okay. So you've got to get up. You sleepy head. Get out of bed. Come on. That's nice. King of Pentacles energy. That's a nicer energy than this, isn't it? He's got this. Should we read about the King of Pentacles? Well, I feel drawn to, so... I think they're all together. All the kings are together in this book. The kings. Social responsibility, power, success and accomplishment. They're the key words associated with that card. The King of Pentacles. Responsible, steadfast and productive. You may experience an improvement in your finances or material circumstances. The steady progress and success of a business, project or career, a traditional established organisation or profession. Okay, right. Let's see what the magical mermaids and dolphins would like to say. We've covered all the bottom of the decks so far. I need some room here. So the first pointer is to soften up. The second one is to let go of any guilt that you're holding on to about the past, especially if it's related to a relative who's in heaven. They are at peace and they want you to be as well. I do feel like the third pointer is it's time to create your life. It's about changing the way that you tell the story, soften up, synchronicity, and everything will just line up. Your prayers and questions are being answered by synchronistic events. I couldn't remember the prayers that I read out, but I believed they were relevant and they've just been sent out there, so I don't need to remember. I've done that. So it's probably best if I have no attachment to it, and then I don't have to like think about whether or not that prayer's been answered. I just know it's done. So I kind of sent some prayers, and Your prayers, and I feel like you have the questions, are being answered by synchronistic events. Notice them in order to increase their flow. As a result of all your prayers and manifestation work, you're now attracting synchronistic events. Those chance meetings, information that you just happen to receive, and other synchronicities are really answered prayers. By drawing this card, heaven calls your attention to the synchronicity and serendipity happening in your life. The more you notice these magical events, the more they occur for you. Even better, write them down in a journal as a way to stimulate more synchronicity in your life. You may already know that there are no coincidental or accidental occurrences. This card reflects your recent focus on positive thoughts, which are being directed towards your desires. Like a magical energy beam, they can influence physical objects. Your optimism and faith are reshaping your life into a masterpiece that reflects your higher self. The oracles of shadows and light. I thought we were going to finish with this deck. Maybe not. Just squinting now. 36, 31. Got to give me a chance to shuffle them first, please. Are we short on time? Is timing an issue? Well, you've gone and chosen 2 cards, so you're going to have to bear with me for a bit longer. The hair wants to kind of keep coming back over this side here, but then it sticks out at silly angles. Okay, I'll hurry up. The 3 Fates, what comes around, card number 26, what comes around is, let me get back to this side. Card number 26. About the 3 Fates. It's happening again. Many of us have faced difficulty and troubled times in our lives. Sometimes the impact of a negative experience is so profound that it leaves us with physical, mental, and yes, spiritual residue for months, even years after the actual event. While you're still vibrating, as the 3 Fates put it, to the energy of a negative experience, you tend to repeatedly attract echoes of that exact experience. So when you need to be alerted to that fact, the 3 Fates will enter, showing you that this is a karmic pattern that may need to be worked on, understood, and recreated in order to be free of its influence. So perfectly put, isn't it? That sums up this reading. Sometimes the impact of a negative experience is so profound that it leaves us with physical, mental, and yes, spiritual residue for months, even years after the actual event. While you are still vibrating, as the 3 Fates put it, to the energy of a negative experience, you tend to repeatedly attract echoes of that exact experience. So when you need to be alerted to that fact, the 3 Fates will enter, showing you that this is a karmic pattern that may need to be worked on, understood, and recreated in order to be free of its influence. You may feel that there are others in charge of your fate, that they are threading the needle, weaving the patterns of the tapestry of your life, even choosing what ends and what begins. When you feel that fate has interceded and that you are not so much in control of your life, but in control of your reaction to what happens in your life, then you are beginning to work with intelligence, maturity, and understanding. With the energies of destiny, fate and fortune, the three fates depicted so beautifully here, with their ever-turning wheel of karma, understand that it turns and turns, as your life will, through its many themes again and again. When you receive this card in a reading, and most especially if she leaps out to greet you, you will know an old pattern has circled around once again. The three fates speak. Here it is again, that situation, that person, this lesson that you have yet to learn, and that you may spend a lifetime learning. It seems you need another cosmic reminder of something that needs to be cleared and mastered. Letting go is this moment's very important lesson for you to learn. We're not suggesting forgetting this lesson, because where's the wisdom in that? We are suggesting that you move on and learn and actively replace this experience with completely different versions of the same theme. No more repeats. This is the opportunity to try something different and see what magic takes place when you vary the approach. You must reconnect with the opportunities you have. Staying attached to old patterns will simply make them come around again, like a thread being spun on our wheel. Learn and be released from this part of the pattern that feels like unjust fate. Okay, the divination message. You may have been enjoying your own life's reruns lately, wallowing through the memories and feeling sad, bittersweet, and nostalgic about the good old days, whenever they were exactly. You know what? It's fine to muse on the past. Your memories are precious and do need to be tended, but it's another thing altogether to be filled with regret, wishing you'd done things differently. Life is a constant do-over. You get a fresh chance every second you are alive, so stop beating yourself up. You have an opportunity to heal, to clear, to no longer feel sad about the same thing anymore. You can do things differently. You are not a prisoner of how they have always been done. What you have done, even if you judge it to be a mistake, can be reworked and learned from. That is its wisdom. You are so not alone. We all have karmic lessons, themes, stories that seem to repeat. Learn from this. Be aware of what is taking place as a fateful encounter to master life. If you take this approach, you'll be all the richer for learning, wise, free, and able to help others too. That's such a good message. A Clockwork Pumpkin, a wonderful idea, the aha moment. Card number 39. I've got chilly. Okay. About the Clockwork Pumpkin, notice the bright bulb inside this Clockwork Pumpkin. You are about to have an amazing moment, a brilliant insight, and a very illuminating idea. Express your creativity. Same colouring. Let me repeat that. You are about to have an amazing moment, a brilliant insight, and a very illuminating idea. Action must be taken immediately while the idea is fresh and new. No more procrastination. Follow the aha moment with action and watch amazing change in the form of abundance, creativity, and satisfaction taking place in your life. The Clockwork Pumpkin speaks. I may look a strange muse, a clockwork pumpkin accompanied by a beautiful gal, but have no doubt, I am the new idea, the epiphany, the moment of clarity when the seeming chaos of life suddenly rearranges itself into a brilliant opportunity. You are about to be presented with such a golden idea that I want you to be ready. Okay, we just need to take a moment because I can't get the words out. I may look like a strange muse, a clockwork pumpkin, accompanied by a beautiful gal, But have no doubt, I am the new idea, the epiphany, the moment of clarity when the seeming chaos of life suddenly rearranges itself into a brilliant opportunity. You are about to be presented with such a golden idea that I want you to be ready. It may come from within you, or it may come from outside of you, but you have drawn it to you with the power of attraction and manifestation. And it is an idea that will bring you great riches of the body, mind, and spirit. It is time to activate your own brilliant abilities and become the abundant, enriched being you were born to be. We are so pleased we have found you. We have waited for exactly the right being to take on this idea and bring it to life within the world. It has evolved out of time, out of space, and is perfect for you. It may be a song, a project, a new job, a relationship. Its form is fluid, but its time is now, and you are the person chosen to bring it through. Cosmic duty it may be, but joy and love it will bring, as well as abundance and true happiness. Okay, the divination message. One of those aha moments is about to happen when you are paid a visit by a pure spirit of inspiration who is delivering an incredible gift. You will be given an idea and vision and epiphany. Its source is the divine realm of heavenly ideas, and its time is now, and you are being chosen to bring it to life. It will work beautifully as long as you put the steps in place, one after the other, almost like clockwork. Despite the mechanical imagery, there is no mechanical idea, although it will no doubt be very inventive, and it could concern a brilliant solution to a mechanical problem. It is sparkling, pure genius. Never forget that Thomas Edison dreamed the light bulb, so please don't doubt your intuitive self when it becomes the delivery system for this wonderful, innovation. Okay. So please don't doubt your intuition. Please don't doubt your intuitive self when it becomes the delivery system for this wonderful innovation that you are in charge of. Page number 141. That's a good message. Let's look at the bottom of the deck. Protection. You are safe, I want to say. It says you, your loved ones and your possessions are safe and protected by heaven. Skipping the words now. You are protected. We'll read this card. Oh, I feel like we want to read from Rumi. I was going to bring the Rumi deck in, but I chose not to. I chose, like, them cards to be the last cards. Oh, okay. Did we say we were pushed for time, or have we changed our mind? Same old story, isn't it? I don't have the time. It's like change the record. Okay, where's the book for this? Protection. It's snappy. Your prayers which ask for safety and protection have been heard and answered. Any attacks or threats are now a thing of the past, washed away with the tide of heavenly love. This love is clearing away your insecurities so that you can feel totally secure. When you ask heaven to watch over you, your loved ones, your home, and your possessions, your prayers are instantly answered. There's no hesitation or delay on heaven's part. It's done as soon as you ask. Your energies can now be directed in meaningful and creative ways with your mind clear of worries. Enjoy your day. It's like if I feel the energy of like not having a lot of time because your attention's got to be elsewhere, or that maybe you've only got a certain amount of time alone and you're worried about being like caught. It's like your area's protected, don't worry about it. It's like if your purpose is to sit here and listen to this reading, then you'll sit and listen to the reading and you won't be interrupted and you're not going to get into trouble, and it's going to be more beneficial for you to listen than for you to worry about getting on with other stuff. Greek mythology. Let's see what card wants to come out of here. That didn't take long. Alchemy, unfairness. Oh my goodness, okay. What did that card say about getting over like what you consider to be unjust fate? Alchemy, unfairness. I've taken the blanket off my legs and now my legs are like really cold. I'm going to go and get the Rumi deck. Whereabouts are you? Come on. Zeus wanted Alcmene to be his mistress and the mother of his child, but Alcmene was faithfully betrothed to another man. Because of her moral virtue, Zeus had to trick her, so he waited until her fiancé was away and disguised himself as her future husband. Persuading the unsuspecting Alcmene that he had returned early, he bedded her. Her fiancé discovered her loss of innocence, and this card depicts him setting Alcmene on fire to test her story that Zeus tricked her. Thankfully, Zeus had the nymphs quench the flames, saving her life and verifying her claims. Months later, poor Alcmene suffered several days of labour as Zeus's wife wreaked jealous vengeance on her and tried to prevent the birth of the resulting son. This card represents unfairness and bad luck. The fates may have been against you recently, and it is not just. However, things will now turn around as Zeus eventually favours you and helps save the day. That's nice, Zeus actually turning around and favouring, I wanted to say like soulmates, soul partners, divine partners. They were circular and he cut them in half because they were more powerful than the gods. And through you in like opposite directions. But if you found your way back together, then you could stay together. Okay. So, however, things will now turn around as Zeus eventually favours you and helps save the day. The sacrifice of Alcmene. Right, let's go to Rumi and we will finish this reading with a message. Okay. They're still upside down, look. I don't know if all the cards are still upside down, they are. The lion and the deer. That was what was on the bottom of the deck. Okay, can we just take a moment, please? What do we do about this bit of hair here? Well, we could part it so we could have it like in the middle, at the back. Have half and half if you like. This side looks a lot lighter, doesn't it? Well, it has more grey, doesn't it? That's what it is. That's a little grey streak going on now. There's this energy of like what's going on in the masculine's mind, what's he thinking about, and like having to kind of like prize it out of him. It's like he will tell you, but you'll have to prize it out of him, like coax him. Encourage, I think, is the right word. There's the card. The impossible made possible. Now, did we have this card? What did we have from nothing to everything? Was that yesterday? Well, now we've got the impossible made possible. Card number 9, which will take me to that, the 9 card here. If you have spiritual protection, spiritual direction, the impossible made possible. Love brings the sea into boiling and turns the mountain into a pebble. Love creates infinite openings in the dark sky and shudders the earth with its magnitude. Rumi. She spins, this great earth goddess, upon invisible strings amongst a wildly pulsating ballet of life. Stars are born, live and die all around her. Life moves in constant flux, and still she spins in her great loving, constant pirouette. How can this be? All of creation is born from nothing. Out of endless silence and darkness, light emerges. What strange magic is this? The sun heats the solar system and burns with the power to destroy life, yet it is a force by which life is sustained. Surely this makes no sense and cannot be. We dance in the realm of the impossible made possible constantly, you and I. We are so engrossed in it, so familiar with it, and yet blind to it, that these constant impossibilities happening in every moment fail to inspire us. Yet what are your biggest, boldest, most extraordinarily impossible dreams compared to this great impossibility of life itself? They are but tiny seeds in the Creator's masterful hand, being now planted in the heavenly garden. Yes, they are being planted right now, for the moon tells us the time is right. Most tenderly shall they be watched over, nurtured into fullness, according to the season. Yes, that growth is assured. The impossible is now made possible. It's interesting, yesterday I spoke about seeds. Well, we've been speaking about gardening quite a lot, haven't we? Oh, that's interesting. When Mary Magdalene saw Jesus, it actually said in the Bible that he wasn't the she realised that he wasn't the gardener. Like, he was coming through as a gardener. She realised it was the Lord himself. So we only limit what we believe to be possible by our lack of imagination. The divine has recourse to all that is, and all that is yet to be. There is any limit. Is there? There is limit. There isn't. Is there any limit to the resources of the heavens? No. So then why has not every impossible dream now been rendered possible, indeed manifest in shining glory upon the earth? The human heart knows everything envisioned can manifest according to divine timing and grace, yet the mind does quake with fear, so much so that it will not listen to the heart at times. That fear is a childlike nightmare, that should you offer yourself up to the sacred loving power of the great Creator, you might be found to be lacking. The mind holds itself captive with dark fantasies of that profound rejection, and then avoids confronting it directly at all costs. It creates barriers instead, truly nothing more than lines in the sand, yet believed to be thoughts. That's what he's done here, isn't he? But what stronghold can resist love? It is like water. It seeps into every available space and changes form to survive in every environmental condition. With unfailing intelligence, it creates life, from steam to ice, rainfall, the river and ocean, rain descending into snowflakes, snow capping the peak, expressing itself with beauty and genius. It nestles under the earth and rises to the sky, only to return to the earth again. It will erode blockages and prevail, no matter how long that process takes. It carves the earth into shape and form. Where it is, there is life. Such is the adaptable intelligence and persistence of water, just as is the power of love. So now you are guided by this loving power to drop the doubt, shed the incredulity, and open up the mind. Allow your imagination to be inspired as though you are a child in a great garden, hearing the breath of the earth in the wind-whipped leaves and the voices of the ancestors in birdsong. The universe wants something to happen for you, something beautiful, something utterly improbable, and something perfect for your path, your own unique divine destiny. Your mind will wonder if it is even possible. People around you may wonder the same thing, but your heart will burn for it to become real, to become more than a fantastic, improbable dream. You'll want it with all your soul. You may not even be consciously aware as yet what this great desire is, but your heart knows. It holds a secret knowledge and will unveil it when your mind can handle it. When your heart is much more powerful than your mind, you won't unintentionally block the incredible grace of manifestation seeking to pour into your thirsty soul like the sweetest, purest waters of blessing. Say that last part again. Yeah, I will do. When your heart is much more powerful than your mind, you won't unintentionally block the incredible grace of manifestation seeking to pour into your thirsty soul like the sweetest, purest waters of blessing. Let's finish with this sacred honouring ritual. Place your hands very lightly at your throat. Say aloud, with Rumi, who loves me unconditionally, as my witness, I now offer myself into the hands of the all-loving creative intelligence of this universe. I release all vows, intentions or beliefs ever made, consciously or unconsciously, in this or any lifetime, that are based in doubt and fear, holding back from creative fruition of my soul upon the earth. I dedicate myself to love and accept the gift of grace that brings me into greater fulfillment now. May I be blessed so I can surrender resistance and accept what is coming to me now for what it is, a gift of love. So be it. Place your hands at your heart and focus on your breath for a moment or two as it flows in and out. When you are ready, place your hands in prayer and bow your head to your hands. You have completed your sacred honouring ritual. I've completed this reading. Guys, have yourself a fantastic day today. You got to go walk the dog. Have a great day. I will do. You too, Sherry, darling. Okay, I will catch up with all of you soon. So until then, take care.